every time you react to negativity, every time you let someone's words shake your peace, you give away your power. The truth is, control isn't about dominating others. It's about mastering yourself. In this video, you'll learn 10 habits that will train your mind to stay calm, composed, and unshakable, no matter what life throws at you. If you're ready to stop being reactive and start being unstoppable, this is where it begins. Habit 1, pause before you react. Between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space is our power to choose our response. In our response lies our growth and our freedom. These words from Viktor E. Frankl, a man who endured the unimaginable horrors of a concentration camp, carry with them a weight that transcends theory. They speak to a profound truth about human potential and inner power. In a world that constantly pulls at your emotions, where every notification, comment, or minor inconvenience can set off a spiral of reaction, that space, that pause, is the ultimate form of strength. To pause before reacting is not just a tactic. It's a habit, a discipline, a mindset, and it's one that separates the emotionally chaotic from the internally grounded. Most people don't pause, they react. Their feelings hijack their thinking. Someone cuts them off in traffic and rage takes over. A coworker criticizes them in a meeting and they shut down or retaliate. A small failure occurs and suddenly their whole identity is threatened. This kind of emotional volatility keeps people stuck, not because the world is against them, but because they never learn to manage the space between action and reaction. The truth is, you are not responsible for what happens to you, but you are always responsible for how you respond. This is echoed in the timeless words of the Stoic philosopher Epictetus, who said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." Life is full of tests, delays, betrayals, rejections, disrespect. But the most powerful person in the room is rarely the loudest. It's the one who remains still when chaos erupts, who maintains clarity when others lose control. The pause is what grants you that clarity. It is your anchor. Consider this. Someone insults you in front of others. Most will feel the sting and react, either through defensive words, retreat, or retaliation. But what if you didn't respond at all? What if you simply looked at them, smiled, and moved on? You rob them of their power. You turn the mirror back onto them. They expected an emotional exchange, and when they don't get it, they are left unbalanced. Meanwhile, you remain untouched, not because you don't feel the insult, but because you have risen above the need to prove yourself. As the saying goes, he who angers you conquers you. Psychologically, this pause activates the thinking brain, the prefrontal cortex, instead of the emotional brain, the amygdala. In that moment of stillness, you can assess, is this worth my energy? Does this align with who I want to be? Will this matter in 5 days, 5 months, 5 years? You gain the power to respond with intention, not impulse. Training this pause takes time, and it often begins with awareness. Notice when your body tightens, when your breath quickens, when you feel the heat of emotion rising. That's the signal. Instead of feeding it, breathe, count, wait. Even a few seconds of intentional silence can change the outcome of a conversation, an argument, or a life decision. This is how you become emotionally bulletproof, by refusing to let fleeting emotions dictate permanent consequences. The spiritual teacher Eckhart Tolle speaks to this space as well. To be aware of your thoughts and emotions is not the same as being caught up in them. That awareness, that moment of pause, is your freedom. It's where growth happens. The pause is not suppression. It's not about bottling up your feelings or pretending you don't care. It's about choosing to engage with life on your terms, not as a slave to every trigger that comes your way. In a world where everyone reacts, the one who pauses before responding becomes a mystery, a force, a presence. People will wonder how you stay calm, how you remain centered while others fall apart. The answer is simple. You trained for it. You didn't stumble into peace. You built it, moment by moment, reaction by reaction, through discipline and self-awareness. In mastering the pause, you create a buffer between the world and your inner self. And that buffer is where freedom begins. It's where you stop being a puppet to circumstance and start being the author of your own behavior. And in that space, in that stillness, lies your greatest power. Habit 2, cultivate a mental image of unshakable calm. Imagination is everything. It is the preview of life's coming attractions, Albert Einstein once said, highlighting the transformative power of the mind's eye. Habit 2 teaches that to truly act as if nothing bothers you, you must first build a strong mental image of yourself as composed, confident, and unshakable before life storms even arrive. Visualization is not just a motivational tool. It's a mental training technique that rewires your brain. Neuroscientific studies have shown that imagining an action activates many of the same neural circuits as actually performing it. This means that when you picture yourself reacting calmly in stressful situations, you are rehearsing those responses on a neurological level, creating a blueprint your brain follows when the real moment comes. Picture this. Instead of being caught off guard by criticism, setbacks, or sudden challenges, you see yourself standing firm, centered, and unaffected. Your breath is steady, your thoughts clear, and your emotions under control. This mental image becomes your default state, a mental sanctuary where external chaos cannot penetrate. This practice is deeply rooted in Stoic philosophy, which teaches that while we cannot control external events, we can control our perceptions of them. Epictetus famously said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." Visualization helps you internalize this teaching by mentally rehearsing a calm, collected reaction. Over time, this conditioning rewires your instinctive responses, enabling you to meet challenges with grace rather than anxiety. Visualizing yourself as unshakable also involves confronting your fears and doubts head-on. Instead of avoiding the thought of failure or rejection, imagine yourself responding to those moments with steady confidence. See failure not as a disaster, but as valuable feedback, a moment to learn and adjust. When you practice this regularly, you develop a resilient mindset that sees obstacles as temporary and manageable rather than overwhelming. Consider the impact of this habit beyond just emotional control. When you present yourself as calm and composed, others perceive you as more trustworthy and authoritative. This quiet confidence commands respect without uttering a single word. As Lao Tzu said, mastering others is strength, mastering yourself is true power. Visualization helps you master yourself by shaping the self-humor that guides your behavior. The key to making this habit effective is consistency. Set aside time daily to vividly picture your unshakable self. Engage all your senses. Feel the calm in your body. Hear the steady tone of your voice. And see your composed expression in your mind's eye. The more real this mental rehearsal feels, the stronger its impact on your subconscious mind. This practice doesn't create an emotionless or detached person. Rather, it builds someone who chooses their emotional responses wisely. Someone who cares deeply but is not overwhelmed by life's challenges. By embedding this habit into your daily routine, you set yourself on a path toward true emotional mastery. You develop a steadfast presence that remains unshaken no matter what happens around you. This is not about ignoring difficulties, but about meeting them with unwavering calm and control, a fundamental step toward living the nothing bothers me mindset. Habit 3. Practice deliberate non-reaction. In the journey to embody the mindset of acting as if nothing bothers you, mastering the art of deliberate non-reaction is essential. This habit is about choosing how you respond, or more importantly, choosing not to respond impulsively to the countless provocations and distractions life throws your way. As Viktor Frankl, the renowned psychiatrist and Holocaust survivor, profoundly stated, between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space is our power to choose our response. In our response lies our growth and our freedom. The moment you realize that you are not a mere reactor to external events, but a conscious agent who can decide whether or not to engage emotionally, you reclaim your power. Most people fall into the trap of automatic reactions, snapping at criticism, feeling defensive to insult, or spiraling into anxiety at setbacks. These reactive responses are often habitual and unconscious, and they chip away at your inner peace, leaving you vulnerable to emotional exhaustion and stress. Deliberate non reaction requires training yourself to pause before responding. That pause is your strongest ally. It is the mental space where rational thought overrides knee jerk emotion. When someone insults you or tries to provoke you, instead of instantly reacting with anger or hurt, you learn to breathe, observe, and assess. Does this truly deserve my energy? Will reacting serve my long term goals or simply give away my power? This pause is a form of emotional discipline, much like a muscle that grows stronger the more you exercise it. It allows you to break free from the emotional roller coaster and approach situations with clarity and calm. The irony is that by not reacting, you often disarm the instigator. People who seek a reaction are feeding off your emotional response. When you deny them this, you unsettle their expectations and silently demonstrate your control. Consider how this habit plays out in everyday life. Imagine receiving harsh criticism at work. Your instinct might be to defend yourself or retaliate, but by practicing deliberate non reaction, you instead listen carefully, filter out the unnecessary negativity, and focus on any constructive elements. This doesn't mean you suppress your feelings, it means you don't let them hijack your behavior. Over time, this builds emotional resilience, allowing you to navigate challenges without becoming overwhelmed. This principle aligns closely with the wisdom of the ancient Stoics, who emphasized the importance of controlling one's judgment and response. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and philosopher, wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." The strength here is in your ability to control your internal world, regardless of external chaos. Deliberate non-reaction also fosters deeper self-awareness. Each time you pause and choose your response, you learn more about your triggers, your values, and your true priorities. You become less susceptible to manipulation by others' words or actions because your sense of self-worth is anchored internally, not swayed by fleeting emotions or opinions. Moreover, practicing this habit has profound implications for your relationships and social interactions. It helps you maintain dignity and respect, especially in tense or confrontational moments. Rather than escalating conflicts, you diffuse tension by responding with calmness or silence. This often leads others to reconsider their approach and opens space for more constructive dialogue. To cultivate deliberate non-reaction, start small. Identify moments in your day where you feel reactive impulses rising. Whether it's a critical comment, a frustrating delay, or a personal slight, train yourself to take a slow, mindful breath before speaking or acting. Reflect briefly on the bigger picture. Will reacting this way help me or hinder me? Over time, this habit becomes instinctive and your emotional equilibrium strengthens. In essence, deliberate non-reaction is not about apathy or indifference. It's about choosing to conserve your energy for what truly matters. It's a powerful demonstration of self-control and emotional intelligence, empowering you to live with greater peace, purpose, and presence. By mastering this habit, you move closer to becoming unshakable, able to face life's inevitable storms without losing your calm or your sense of self. Habit 4, cultivate a clear purpose to anchor your focus. One of the most powerful ways to remain unshaken and act as if nothing bothers you is to cultivate a clear, unwavering purpose that anchors your focus. When your mind and heart are aligned with a meaningful goal or vision, trivial distractions, petty criticisms, and everyday setbacks lose their grip on your emotions and energy. Purpose becomes the compass that guides your reactions and helps you navigate life with clarity and resilience. Without a strong sense of purpose, it's all too easy to get caught up in the noise of the world, the endless opinions, the unexpected hurdles, and the emotional turbulence that come with everyday life. But when you know exactly what you stand for and where you're headed, you create a mental filter that helps you decide what deserves your attention and what should be dismissed. This idea echoes the wisdom of Steve Jobs, who once said, "The people who are crazy enough to think they can change the world are the ones who do." Those who live with purpose tend to be deeply focused, driven not by fleeting emotions or social validation, but by a compelling inner mission. This sense of direction not only empowers you, but also shields you from being derailed by negativity or distraction. Having a clear purpose also enhances your emotional control. When faced with criticism or failure, your purpose provides context. It reminds you why you started and what you're striving for. Instead of seeing setbacks as personal defeats, you view them as necessary detours or lessons on the path to your goal. This perspective dramatically reduces emotional reactivity and increases perseverance. Consider the example of athletes, artists, or entrepreneurs who face constant criticism and setbacks. What sets apart those who succeed is not an absence of problems, but their unwavering commitment to their vision. Their purpose fuels resilience and helps them maintain composure even when the world seems to be against them. To cultivate this habit, start by clarifying your values and long-term goals. Ask yourself, what truly matters to me? What kind of person do I want to be? What impact do I want to have? Write these down and revisit them regularly. Use this purpose as a mental anchor whenever distractions arise or emotions threaten to take control. When your purpose is clear, your energy becomes focused and efficient. You no longer waste time or mental resources on things that don't align with your mission. This selective focus is a hallmark of the unshakable mindset, allowing you to move through life with intention and calm, immune to the petty dramas and noise that consume others. Ultimately, cultivating a clear purpose is not just about achieving external success. It's about developing inner strength. It's about living a life that feels meaningful and fulfilling, where your emotional state is not dictated by circumstances, but by your commitment to what you care about most. This deep sense of purpose is a powerful shield against life's chaos and a key ingredient to mastering the nothing bothers me mindset. Habit 5. Master the art of silence and thoughtful speech. In a world overflowing with noise, constant chatter, opinions, debates, and distractions, mastering the art of silence is a powerful habit that cultivates the mindset of being unbothered. Silence is not just the absence of sound, it is a deliberate choice to pause, observe, and respond with intention rather than impulse. Those who understand this skill wield an invisible power that commands respect and fosters clarity. The ancient philosopher Epictetus once said, "We have 2 ears and 1 mouth so that we can listen twice as much as we speak." This simple wisdom highlights the value of listening and thoughtful communication. When you learn to speak less and listen more, you gather more information, gain better understanding, and avoid unnecessary conflicts fueled by reactive speech. Silence allows you to control your emotional responses. Often, when provoked or criticized, people react impulsively, speaking words they later regret or escalating tensions. But the unshakable individual trains themselves to pause, to take a breath, assess the situation, and choose whether a response is even necessary. This pause is a form of emotional self-mastery. It prevents you from handing over your power to others by reacting on autopilot. Moreover, silence creates a sense of mystery and calm authority. People are naturally drawn to those who do not feel the need to fill every silence or prove themselves through constant talking. When you speak less and choose your words carefully, your words carry more weight and meaning. Every statement you make becomes intentional, deliberate, and impactful. This contrast with the noisy background of everyday life sets you apart as someone with confidence and control. In negotiations, difficult conversations, or moments of confrontation, silence is a strategic tool. Letting the other person fill the silence often leads them to reveal more than they intended, hesitations, doubts, or truths that might otherwise stay hidden. By staying silent, you maintain control over the interaction and can respond with precision rather than reaction. Mastering silence also means knowing when not to engage with petty drama or criticism. Not every comment or challenge deserves your energy or response. Choosing silence in such moments is not weakness or avoidance, it is strength and discernment. It signals that you are above the fray, unaffected by distractions that do not serve your purpose. To cultivate this habit, practice mindfulness in your conversations. Before responding, ask yourself, does this require a reply? Will my words add value or escalate tension? Can I remain calm and let silence do the talking? Over time, you'll notice a shift not only in how others perceive you, but in how you experience your own peace of mind. In essence, mastering silence is about reclaiming your voice and energy, using them wisely rather than scattering them through reactive or unnecessary speech. It is a profound expression of the nothing bothers me mindset, showing that true power often lies in restraint and presence rather than in volume or reaction. Habit 6, cultivate emotional detachment to rise above setbacks. One of the most powerful habits to develop in the journey toward acting as if nothing bothers you is cultivating emotional detachment. This doesn't mean becoming cold or indifferent to life's experiences. Rather, it's about learning to observe your emotions without being overwhelmed or controlled by them. Emotional detachment is the practice of recognizing your feelings, understanding their temporary nature, and choosing not to let them dictate your actions or self-worth. As the Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius wisely advised, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. This principle underscores that while external circumstances are often beyond our control, our responses to them lie firmly within our grasp. When you cultivate emotional detachment, you create a mental space between stimulus and response. Instead of reacting impulsively to setbacks, criticism, or failure, you respond with measured calm and clarity. Setbacks and failures are inevitable in life, but they become truly destructive only when you internalize them as reflections of your value or potential. Many people fall into the trap of dwelling on mistakes, rehashing regrets, and spiraling into negative emotions that paralyze progress. Emotional detachment teaches you to reframe these experiences as data, valuable information that guides you to adjust, learn, and grow. By separating your sense of self from the outcomes, you protect your inner peace and maintain forward momentum. This habit also strengthens resilience. When you detach emotionally, you become less vulnerable to the fluctuations of external validation or criticism. Negative feedback no longer feels like a personal attack, and praise does not inflate your ego. Instead, you maintain an even keel, grounded in your own purpose and values. This stability is a hallmark of those who act as if nothing bothers them, commanding respect not through aggression or defensiveness, but through unwavering composure. To cultivate emotional detachment, start by practicing mindfulness and self-awareness. Notice when your emotions begin to escalate and consciously remind yourself that feelings are transient. They come and go like waves. Ask yourself if reacting emotionally will help solve the problem or only intensify it. Often the most powerful response is to pause, breathe, and choose a rational course of action. Another effective strategy is to keep perspective. When facing difficulties, ask, will this matter in 5 years? In 5 months? This question often reveals that many stressors are fleeting, reducing their emotional grip on you. Embracing this mindset helps you conserve your energy for challenges that truly warrant your focus. Emotional detachment is not about suppressing feelings, but mastering them. It's the difference between feeling anger and letting anger control you, or experiencing disappointment without letting it define your future. By training your mind to observe without over-identifying, you build an inner fortress of calm that no external storm can penetrate. In summary, cultivating emotional detachment empowers you to rise above life's inevitable setbacks and maintain your composure amidst chaos. It transforms challenges into opportunities for growth, freeing you from the tyranny of emotional turbulence and allowing you to act with confidence and clarity, regardless of the circumstances. Habit 7, master the art of silence and listening. In a world overwhelmed by noise, constant chatter, and instant reactions, mastering the art of silence is a powerful tool for maintaining composure and authority. Silence is not merely the absence of speech, it is a strategic choice. a form of communication that conveys confidence, control, and depth. Those who learn to embrace silence become observers rather than reactors, gaining insights that others miss and projecting a presence that commands respect. The great writer and philosopher Ralph Waldo Emerson once said, "Speak only if it improves upon the silence." This simple yet profound advice highlights how often people fill conversations with unnecessary words, seeking validation or trying to prove a point. In contrast, those who choose silence carefully conserve their energy and speak with intention. Their words carry weight because they are measured and deliberate. Silence offers several advantages. First, it provides you with the space to process your thoughts fully before responding. Rather than reacting impulsively or emotionally, you create a pause that allows clarity and reason to guide your actions. This habit is especially critical in high-pressure situations where a rushed response can escalate conflicts or reveal weaknesses. By pausing, you maintain control over the narrative and avoid saying things you might later regret. Second, silence is a powerful tool for observation. When you speak less, you listen more. You notice subtle cues in others, the hesitation in their voice, body language that contradicts their words, or emotions they try to mask. These insights give you a strategic advantage in negotiations, conversations, and conflicts. While others rush to fill the silence, you gather valuable information and reveal little about your own thoughts or intentions. Third, silence can unsettle others, especially those who expect quick reactions or emotional responses. In negotiations or confrontations, a well-timed pause can create discomfort and uncertainty for your counterpart, causing them to overthink or second-guess their position. This silent dominance shifts the power dynamic subtly yet decisively. To cultivate this habit, practice restraint in everyday conversations. Resist the urge to immediately respond to every comment or criticism. Instead, develop the discipline to listen fully, absorb the information, and then reply with purpose. This doesn't mean withdrawing from communication, but choosing your moment to speak so that your voice becomes a signal, not noise. Furthermore, silence can be a form of emotional discipline. When insulted or provoked, choosing silence rather than reacting emotionally demonstrates inner strength. It tells others that you are not easily rattled and that you do not give away your power through unnecessary outbursts. This restraint is often more impactful than any argument or retort. In essence, mastering silence is about understanding the power of presence. It's about being fully engaged without feeling the need to dominate every conversation or prove yourself constantly. Silence commands respect because it shows you are confident enough to listen and thoughtful enough to respond with meaning. By developing this habit, you transform yourself into a strategist rather than a reactor. Your calm, measured responses will become your signature, earning admiration and influence. The quieter you become, the more your presence speaks volumes, allowing you to navigate life's challenges with an unshakable sense of control. Step 8. Cultivate discipline to strengthen mental resilience. Discipline is the cornerstone of an unshakable mind and the foundation upon which lasting success is built. It is the daily commitment to choosing long-term growth over short-term comfort, the ability to stay focused and consistent even when motivation wanes. As the legendary author Jim Rohn famously said, discipline is the bridge between goals and accomplishment. Without discipline, dreams remain distant wishes. With it, they become tangible realities. Developing discipline means training your mind to resist the allure of distractions, procrastination, and fleeting pleasures that derail your progress. The human brain is wired to seek ease and avoid discomfort, which is why so many falter when faced with challenges or tedious tasks. However, mental strength grows through resistance, much like muscles develop by lifting weight. Each time you push through discomfort, whether it's waking up early, sticking to a schedule, or saying no to distractions, you build resilience that strengthens your ability to remain composed under pressure. Discipline is more than just a rigid routine. It's a mindset that values consistency and self-control as keys to freedom. When you cultivate discipline, you take ownership of your actions and decisions instead of surrendering to impulsive desires or external circumstances. This ownership empowers you to steer your life toward your goals with precision and confidence, rather than drifting aimlessly or reacting emotionally to setbacks. One way to develop discipline is by creating small, manageable habits that compound over time. Start by setting clear priorities and eliminating tasks or habits that do not align with your purpose. Break large goals into daily actions and hold yourself accountable for following through, even when it's challenging. As Aristotle wisely noted, we are what we repeatedly do. Excellence, then, is not an act, but a habit. Excellence emerges from these daily choices and persistent efforts. Moreover, discipline is deeply linked to emotional regulation. It teaches you to pause before reacting, to evaluate whether a response aligns with your higher purpose or merely satisfies an impulsive urge. This self-restraint prevents you from being hijacked by momentary feelings of frustration, anger, or fear. Instead, you respond with calmness and clarity, preserving your energy for what truly matters. In practice, discipline also means embracing the uncomfortable truths of life. Setbacks will happen, motivation will fluctuate, and the path to success is rarely smooth. Those who lack discipline crumble under pressure, but the disciplined mind remains steadfast, viewing obstacles as opportunities to grow rather than reasons to quit. This unwavering persistence is what separates those who achieve greatness from those who fall short. To reinforce discipline, cultivate a strong sense of purpose. When your vision is clear and meaningful, discipline feels less like a burden and more like a natural extension of your commitment. It becomes easier to say no to distractions because you understand the cost of wasted time and energy. Ultimately, discipline is not about perfection, but progress. It is the daily decision to prioritize your goals, maintain focus, and act with intention regardless of external circumstances or internal doubts. As you strengthen this habit, you will notice a profound transformation. Your mind becomes more resilient, your confidence deepens, and you develop the kind of inner power that cannot be shaken by life's inevitable challenges. Habit 9. Master the art of moving in silence. In a world overwhelmed by noise, whether literal or metaphorical, silence stands as a powerful and often overlooked tool. Moving in silence means acting without unnecessary announcements or displays, letting your results speak louder than your words. It is the quiet confidence that doesn't seek validation or approval, but simply pursues mastery and excellence with unwavering focus. The loudest voices often mask insecurity or desperation for attention, while those who have mastered the art of moving silently project true strength through their calm presence. As the philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche observed, invisible threads are the strongest ties. This reminds us that the most influential actions and decisions often happen behind the scenes, away from public scrutiny and noise. When you move in silence, you conserve energy that would otherwise be wasted on seeking approval or defending yourself against criticism. Instead of broadcasting your intentions, you concentrate on execution, on doing the work quietly and effectively. This discipline to withhold from boasting or over-explaining fosters an air of mystery and respect, making your actions more impactful and your presence more commanding. Silence is not about withdrawal or avoidance. It is a strategic choice. It allows you to observe, listen, and understand before responding. When you resist the urge to react impulsively or to fill every moment with talk, you gain valuable insight into the motivations and intentions of others. You become a strategist rather than a reactor, turning situations to your advantage by staying calm and composed. In negotiations or difficult conversations, silence can be your most potent weapon. Pausing before responding creates space for the other party to reveal more than they intended, to second-guess their position, or to fill the quiet with concessions. This skillful use of silence cultivates power without aggression, respect without. Moreover, silence helps in managing emotions. When you refrain from reacting immediately, especially under stress or provocation, you prevent emotional hijacking and preserve your mental clarity. It is often said that silence is golden, And this truth is amplified in moments of tension, where a measured pause can defuse conflict and demonstrate inner control. Mastering silence also requires self-confidence. It takes courage to resist the social pressure to constantly justify yourself or seek recognition. Yet, when you stop chasing external validation and trust in your own path, you naturally emit a quiet strength that commands respect. People notice when you don't need to prove yourself. They feel the weight of your presence without the noise. In essence, moving in silence is about shifting from performative actions to authentic mastery. It's about letting your achievements, integrity, and consistency tell your story. As the saying goes, well done is better than well said. By embodying this principle, you not only protect your energy and focus, but also build a legacy based on substance rather than spectacle. Habit 10, build mental strength through daily discipline and resilience. True mental strength is not something that emerges overnight or in moments of crisis. It is forged daily through deliberate habits of discipline, resilience, and conscious choice. Just as physical muscles grow stronger through consistent resistance and exercise, the mind becomes unbreakable through continual training against distractions, negativity, and emotional turbulence. Discipline is the cornerstone of this mental fortitude. It means choosing what is difficult over what is easy, committing to your values and goals even when motivation wanes, and refusing to succumb to the allure of comfort or procrastination. As Jim Rohn famously said, discipline is the bridge between goals and accomplishment. Without this bridge, your ambitions remain dreams, but with it, every small decision moves you closer to mastery. Resilience, the ability to bounce back from setbacks and adapt to adversity, is another vital element. Life inevitably presents challenges, disappointments, and failures, but the mentally strong see these not as roadblocks, but as stepping stones for growth. They understand that setbacks are temporary and external, while their internal strength is constant and evolving. This perspective transforms obstacles into opportunities and suffering into lessons. Building mental toughness also involves cultivating a mindset of gratitude and self-awareness. Gratitude shifts your focus from what's lacking or going wrong to what's abundant and positive in your life, fostering a sense of peace and contentment. Self-awareness allows you to recognize negative thought patterns, emotional triggers, and unproductive habits, giving you the power to change them consciously. Importantly, mental strength means learning to pause, creating a space between stimulus and reaction. When faced with stress or provocation, the strongest minds don't react impulsively. Instead, they breathe, assess, and choose a response aligned with their highest purpose. This pause is a form of mental discipline that prevents emotional hijacking and preserves clarity. Consider the everyday moments. Waking up early when every fiber of your body wants to stay in bed, staying silent instead of arguing in a heated moment, pushing forward when you feel like quitting. Each of these moments is an opportunity to build resilience and discipline, gradually rewiring your brain for toughness. Ultimately, mastering mental strength frees you from being controlled by external events, opinions, or temporary feelings. It anchors you in a deep-rooted calm and confidence that others sense and respect. This unshakable mindset allows you to navigate life's challenges with grace and power, making you truly unstoppable. We're coming to the end of this video, and now it's your turn to take action. If you're ready to transform your life, no matter how tough the journey may seem, drop a comment below saying, "I'm ready to change." I'll personally read every comment and highlight one powerful story right here on our channel. For your daily dose of raw, unfiltered motivation, don't forget to subscribe and join our community. Let's grow stronger together.